So, once we have done the all three filters, you will get clear sequence or priorities to select the services for the process reengineering, and further it is for the e-governance project. So, validate identified services projects in a e-governance through department survey. Maybe further you can do inputs from the department. This is what the priority is there. You can get feedback on that. Verify that high value service can deliver benefits through e-governance. Definitely first filter was about the same, and of course feasibility is very important. Are we giving all the resources to make that reality, making that successful project? So, high value and feasibility are the, again we look at them and finally make a decision that which services will be done for process reengineering as well as for the further it is about the e-governance project. As we have selected the services, we can think about the vision for that GPR. So, in a first step we have seen the problem. In the second step we have looked at the service priority, and from this we can look at clearly what are the needs and what opportunities we have, and then need to put the boundary what can be done and what cannot be done, so that this gives a basis for our vision statement. Now, we have taken feedback on the process selection. Further going, we can also take a consensus on vision statement. The vision statement should be clear, intuitive and simple. If you put very long vision statement with lot of complex word, then people will not have the motivation to work on that vision. So, it is better to have intuitive, simple, clear vision, and it should be aligned with the all the strategies of the government. For example, NEGP strategy, it talks about transparency. So, here also it should go along with that, or affordable cost. So, here also it should it should also be aligned with that. Reflect the specific condition ambitions of the organization. Certainly, if we have a very simple target, people will not be motivated. So, certainly the ambitions factor should come in, and see that we can do something much better than what current processes are there. So, as we talked earlier also, it is about the transformation which should reflect in this vision statement. And the next is about the objectives. So, these are called SMART objectives, right. So, specific, measurable, right, achievable, right, realistic and time bound. So, key factor here is about the measurable objectives, and also how it will benefit customer as well as the government organization. So, objectives are set clearly based on the vision, because vision will be a statement. So, whereas the base objectives will give a clarity on how we are going to measure those things. So, this is about the step 2. Let us look at the step 3. Step 3 is doing the process study. Now, how our work is done, we need to look at the processes. So, one thing is about the how the process flows, right, from the input till it gives output. Then second thing is what we can do is process maps, which will of course will be useful to have different perspective of the process. Then of course we need to have objective measurable. Same thing happens here. We will talk about time and other data element taking each process step or taking end to end process. And finally, we the department should validate the all process documentation. So, it need not be idealistic, but realistic, so that whatever happening now, it should reflect in the process. And finally, we can look at the from process point of view, what are the problems, issues and what can be the expectations of different stakeholders. So, this gives the third step of the GPR or process reengineering. Let us go into some more details of in this process. So, this is called current or as is assessment. So, earlier also I mentioned that three elements will be IT system, that means about the automation, or the project focus can be on IT developing how IT enablement, and second thing about the people, because finally change management deals with the people, and our GPR or government process engineering will focus on the third element, business processes. So, these three elements are, if we look at the as is processes, we will look at process maps, what are the pain points in the process, what can be the improvement areas, and how do we meet the stakeholders' needs. Certainly, we will look into current available IT system or infrastructure, right, maybe network, security and other things. And in terms of people, it will be about the organizational structure, how it is works and what are the roles and responsibility. And when we want to more IT enablement, or in that case how the things will happen. Of course, people may see certain barriers change to reject the change. So, that change management is another big topic which will take care of people environment. So, we will look into all the three things and give the clear picture, realistic picture of current state. So, process maps can be done in a different way. One simple way is flow charts, second is CPOC map, value stream mapping and 4-field mapping. So, I will just give you example. Let us take very simple example of this. Flow charting is nothing but we will just give the details of activities and task in the graphical representation. It looks easier for a person to understand, and generally we use the common symbols like decision or process step and start end. These are the simple way. Let us just take very simple example, preparing tea. So, here you start, then take a water in a pot, place the pot on stove, heat the water, then there is a decision point, is it boiling, and then you will add sugar, then milk, filter it, add milk, and finally tea will be ready. So, this is the process for the making tea. So, same way government processes, one of the ways to look at the flow chart and see what are the steps in it and also what are the decision points. Another way of looking at it is CPOC map. CPOC stands for supplier, inputs, process, output and customer. Now, we have seen that earlier we can look at the steps, but what are the inputs going in each step? This map will give better picture about it, and who supplies. If you are talking about manufacturing, this will be very important way of mapping the process. So, we will continue with the same example, simple example about the tea. So, for gas stove there will be supplier for gas, then water there will be water supplier, right, means turn on the gas, then boil the water, then from grocery we will get the tea powder, sugar things, then milk supplier will provide the milk. When we go through this process, our tea will be ready, and our customer is, of course, if you are preparing tea for yourself, it is you. So, this way the same thing we can look at it from different angle. We can add on the who supplies, how the inputs are coming and who gets the output. So, this way we can look at the process, and it can be another perspective. There is another way of doing it, value stream mapping. That means how the value gets added in the process. So, it is about the mapping entire value stream in a single page. It is when we sometimes flow chart will be running in 2-3 pages, in that case it is more confusing, whereas here we will put it in a short form in a single page, and we will look at the material, how it gets modified till the output. In case of government services, maybe input data or form that how it gets modified and then given the output. In this case we can look at couple of things. Main thing is about the hands on time, that means interaction time or work time, and also when there are steps, maybe there will be gaps between the two steps. So, there will be waiting period for that material to get processed. And finally, from end to end process we can look at the overall turnaround time. That means in case of government process, it is, for example, passport, we are saying that when you give the application, when you receive the passport, it is about the overall turnaround time.